Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Tony. This is a 15-minute gamer, and today I've been checking out F1 24, which comes out on the 31st of May. There's two editions you can get. One is $59.99. The other is the Champions Edition, which you can get 15% off if you own F1 23. So that's $67.99 or $79.99 if you can't upgrade. Join the grid and be one of the 20. Drive like the greatest in EA Sports F1 24, the official video game of the 2024 FIA Formula 1 World Championship. Before we get into it though, don't forget to drop this channel and subscribe as I head ever closer to my next target of 15,000 subs. And hey, if you enjoyed the video by the end, drop the like, it would mean a lot. Right, let's get on to gameplay. This is an F1 game. There's not much to say outside of that for gameplay. You drive around and around and around, try not to crash, and finish the race. So gameplay-wise, that's about it. But with these, it's always the challenge of developing an annual game. There balances that like adding new features, but only having a very limited time to do so, especially when you have EA as the evil overlord like these do. So off the bat, I would say F1 24 does bring enough to justify the new game, but I can also see why people will be like, well, it looks no different to me, and stick to say 2023. So what's new in this one? Well, you can now play the F1 career mode as an actual driver, so you can choose to be your favourite driver on the grid. You can also do a full F2 season as well. So the other place that you might want to check out, apart from the career, is F1 World. This is where all the loot box heavy mechanics come into the game. It puts you in unbranded cars for which when you win, you can win parts to improve that car and hire staff that give you buffs. But there's also like a fan zone area where you have to pick like your favorite driver and team. And then you go into the F1 World races that you take part in against AI and you earn points for your chosen driver and team. Then that all feeds into leaderboards against all the other drivers. And it adds a bit more meaning to the exercise. And it's actually really interesting. However, it's just super bought down with all these loot box mechanics and like purples and yellows and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. It could have been great. If you can get past the loot boxes though, you might find some fun here. There is also the Challenge Career, which basically involves reenacting specific moments, but it's now being put in like a structured career mode. In each month, there'll be a new set of challenges uploaded to the game. The initial ones you get here is you play as Max, and you got to race around your favorite tracks. It feels a little bit too much like the normal career mode, but it's a bit more fun and you're challenging yourselves, trying new things, and it's a little bit more like variety added to it. So I think this might get some longevity out of it. Another new feature is that when you race, there's like an RPG element to it. So as you race, you will increase certain stats, which then can increase your overall driver rating. I have no idea how it works all out, but it's a cool feature. Talking about the racing, it hasn't changed a great deal, I guess. It's still very tight. It's a lot of fun to race in. It's very well presented, like you get all the presentation at the beginning, and at the end you've got the champagne music. The AI does seem a lot less rammy. However, I still got punted off at Silverstone when I was Max by Lewis Hamilton. Some things never change. They will defend, attack, and are a real challenge to get past. Obviously, there are so many options here to change the experience to how you like it. I love that about the Formula 1 games. If you want to put assists on, fine. If you want to put driving lines on, fine. There's different options. You can change the difficulty to within like a point of what you want. I still wish the difficulty was a bit more time-based. So like say it's set a time, then you could say, right, I want the AI to be a 10th slower than me rather than just a random number. But there's so many assists here and way to tailor that experience to match how you drive. If you're like me and don't have much time on games like this, then you'll probably make it a bit easier. Also, one of the other new features, I guess, is when you finish a race, there's like actual team radios, you cross the line, and it kind of fits like what you've been talking about. So if you're not done very well, it'll be like, yeah, we just weren't fast enough today. And I really like that. When you're racing, you'll be set various challenges. Like you'll be like, right, your brakes are overheating. You've now got one lap to bring the temperature down. And that adds a little bit of variety to the race as well. You can also change the races to what you like. So you can have 100%, 50%, 20%, 5 laps. You can qualify, you can not qualify. You can do practice or not practice. So you can kind of change everything around. Also, sprint races are in here as well. And they're with the proper track. So if you race Miami, for example, you'll get to do the sprint race. However, weirdly though, there's no option to do a single race weekend, sprint race, or time or hot lap or anything like that. There's nothing custom wise here to do just something if you just want a quick race. I don't know why that's not there. It's really annoying because I tend to just be like, oh, I fancy a quick blast around Monza or something, or I want to try a difficulty. I want to try a certain setup. I don't want to do that within the career mode or other modes. I just want to go out and bash a hot lap out. And I don't think you can do that. Also, Breakpoint Career Story Mode is no longer in the game. That has been removed. One of the biggest complaints I've seen online is the new physics and handling model, and I will say I had no issues here. I thought it was really good. It hit a great balance between not being too sim, but also not being too arcadey. The cars still have great grip, but you do notice like subtle changes. And like, say you go on the grass or you touch a curb, or get some gravel, you'll notice that you'll lose a bit of grip for the next few corners. If your like tires are cold, you can also spin out a little bit easier. You've got to be careful as you warm your tires up. It's really important. And especially in the wet, I mean, you can hear the tires spinning and you're losing grip and you're sliding all over the place. It's a real challenge to drive in the wet. And again, because you can change them assists, you can really make it as easy or as hard as you want to drive with the handling. So moving on to graphics, sound and bugs, I think the game engine is showing its age now. It's starting to look a little bit dated in parts. Also the UI, I've seen it for so many years now. I think it just needs a bit of a change. Some tracks have been made to look better, and I do think the grass and general track surfaces have definitely improved. However, the drivers still look a bit rubbish, like so Uncanny Valley, but not in a good way, as in they just look dead behind their eyes. The cars look great though, and in the right light with the photo mode, you can get some really good shots, but I really think it's time to just upgrade that engine. It ran fine on my 3080 with no issues on high to ultra settings. Sound design, the music in the menus and stuff is absolutely dreadful. I don't know who they're aiming towards, but certainly not the generalized F1 fan. However, the champagne music there, the title music is all in and it sounds good. The cars sound really good. And you can even choose now what sound you want. So you can be like, I want the sound to sound like I've got a helmet on. I want it to sound like I'm on TV or cinematic, I think it's called. But it is really nice to have them options. And that team radio of the real driver's voice when you end, I thought was a nice touch. Bugs and performance, as I said, performance, it ran fine. I did have one hard crash, which I lost some progress, and the loading screen seemed to be a little bit too long. So you're like, has the game crashed here or not? You get that sort of time. But apart from that, in-game, I didn't really see any bugs. So in conclusion, it's really difficult to fault this game. I mean, yeah, it's not a huge step up, but 23 was pretty good. This is also very good, even with the EA Sports style heavy part of the game. But I like the way they've kind of marked it off and put it away from the main game. It's partitioned off. You don't have to go there if you don't want to. However, every time you finish a race, it will remind you about the podium pass and you'll gain XP. So you can't always ignore it. I feel it does cater towards all fans of F1. I can see people who spend hours and hours and hours becoming masters of this game. You can also just pick up the controller, blast out a lap and set a pretty good time without the spending all the time of like learning the tracks, learning the cars. And I really like that. The chance also to play as your favorite driver through the career format is really good. And I think it does offer a lot of like reasons to buy this year's game. I think the handling model was great. And I didn't even mind the new handling model. I know a lot of people are saying how rubbish it is, but I thought it was all right. But anyways, that's all I have to say on this one. Thank you for watching and let me know what you think below. I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.